Hi, I'm the host of the STO Smokers Lounge. I'm here to tell you about Anchor, the perfect app that you can use right now to start your own podcast network. You can broadcast right now. All you got to do is download the app, whether you have a phone, iPad, or even a laptop or desktop. You can right now download Anchor or go to Anchor FM right now and start recording and have your stuff broadcasted over multiple platforms such as Spotify. So go to Anchor today and start your podcast career like I have. Because trust me, I love me some Anchor.
Buddy. Yeah, it seems like maybe a minute since I talked to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the last time was.
Probably earlier this year, probably.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I think I was here because like I've done like interviews in certain spots because like I've been like traveling a lot. So I think I might have been in Vegas last time.
Yeah, I think so. You know, weird shit, man. I have to do so many damn interviews. I be forgetting shit that we might have talked about or discussed. By the time I talk to them again, depending on how frequent they come on, man. So what's been going on? How is your Saturday, man?
It's pretty chill, pretty uneventful, honestly.
Now, how often do you have uneventful happen to you?
Well, I guess ever since I came from Exotica, like it's been pretty chill because like before that, I just kind of had maybe like 2-3 weeks with just a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like I never really had no free time. So since Exotica, I'm pretty good until like middle of this month.
So before we get into how your Exotica went and also your wonderful picture taking, let me talk to the people, shall we?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to What the Smokers Lounge here on Anchor. Perfect app for anyone trying to start their own podcast career. All you got to do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm. Y'all know what to do. I am your host, Kevin Albert Southern Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/Porn Rap Star. 3 wonderful sponsors to tell you about LSWorld.com, the Facebook of the LS community, and someplace new for you to consume Triple S content, and someplace new for content creators to go to make money with their content. 90% profit, no hashtag problems. I'm talking about excitebunny.com. And last but not least, the hottest adult mag on the web, eroticismmagazine.com. Go there today and get yourself a subscription. Proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. Plus, go to shop.gwdistrict.com and get some shopping done from over 500 Black-owned retailers and shops. Also, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, go to fullyswapradio.com and listen to me, 6 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, check me out on SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com as well as the BGP LLC app. So, with that being said, man, as you see, it got longer since I last talked to you.
That's it.
This is my man, photographer extraordinaire. Yes, he's a photographer for the porn stars, for the conventions and everything else. He just got a great eye. The one and only Jay Burke. Say hello to the people.
What's going on, everybody? How's it been? I guess it's been a minute since I last talked to the people, so
yes.
Kind of anxious to get into it.
Yes, most definitely, people. If you've been listening for now heading into 2 years, just December, you done heard him before. We done chopped it up about his picture taking and everything, and of course you went to the Exotica in New Jersey, and of course when he goes to these conventions, he is a picture taker. He gives you an inside look through his lens at the world of porn and a convention or what have you. So, how was your experience this year at the Exotica?
I feel like Jersey was really good because I was coming fresh off of doing Why Not and Why Not community in Hollywood. So
Mhm.
I had just seen a lot of people in the industry, like a lot of the chatterbait models and then a lot of just like cam models in general. I had just seen them like a week and a half ago. So it was just like, oh, I just saw you, and then like next week I'm over in Jersey. So it was like I was spending pretty much a good 10-day span with people in the industry. And
Mhm.
then just overall, it just felt more productive. It felt like a lot more people like knew my work, and I was talking to people I know. So it just seemed like I'm here and I'm part of this mix way more than I've like ever been.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, you've been doing this for some years, and it's like even to the point that their websites they use some of your pictures, don't they?
Yeah,
Like the
this is
Exotica pic, like the Exotica website.
I don't think Exotica uses it, but I know I've been working with this one site, Cam Girl All Access, and
Mhm.
they've been like putting my pictures on there. So like I'll drop a bunch of photos on like Twitter or whatever when I'm like editing
Mhm.
the process, and they'll like
Mhm.
be like, okay, like we'll just take the pictures, we'll throw them in like our pictorial, which is like my pictorial for
Mhm.
their website. So that's been happening a lot lately with all these events.
Yeah. So I know it feels good to know that your work is being recognized, period, and people know who you are, what have you. And it's like, who's some of the people you remember the most this Exotica that you took pictures of, and interacted with?
I'm trying to see. Actually, there's a couple of chatterbait models. Like one is Tantric Eden and Frankie Rivers because they always do like cosplay stuff, so they always have a unique look every single day. And I met them
Mm-hmm.
in Hollywood, so when I see them at Exotica, like every single day they got a different look. They got like costumes that they kind of like combine with each other, and then also Matrix Sin. Like Matrix Sin is just like she just
Mm-hmm.
has like the most amazing, like just the most amazing just everything, I guess, because
Mm-hmm.
first day I think it's like the nurse from Silent Hill, and then it's
Damn.
I forgot what the second costume was forget what the second one, but the third one was Elena from like
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter 4. So the cosplay is
Damn.
always on point, and it's not just the looks; it's
Mm-hmm.
like picture perfect cosplay. Actually, the second one was the Freddy Krueger, the second day.
Mm-hmm.
So
So it's
everything's
like
just on point.
how many of the girls did cosplay at this convention? And have you noticed that more cosplays been popping up at these conventions lately?
I would say that a good 60-70% of like chatterbait models were definitely doing cosplay at Exotica this year. And
Mm-hmm.
then just depending upon like walking around, like not necessarily the more mainstream, like Bad Dragon people, but I would say like a lot of like the more independent people or people with their own
Mm-hmm.
booths, they definitely were doing more of a cosplay thing this year.
Well, shoot. I mean, well, one, I know it's a bad that I think a lot of people are starting to dip into now because cause even this year, more other than the other crazy shit that been going on, you've been seeing a lot of girls doing cosplay, especially black girls.
Yeah.
And what do you contribute just in your thoughts of why you see more black girls now not afraid to do cosplay? Because along for a while you didn't really see them try to do cosplay or even think about
Um, I think a lot of people kind of like when they're growing up, they fall into this hole where anything that's like pop culture or like nerdish or whatever, it's always like, oh, that's white people stuff, that's what they do. And really, a lot of people are interested in that sort of thing, but they don't really have that personality where they can just be themselves without worrying about other people judging them.
it.
And I feel like a lot of people just kind of got into like, I like this, and this is what I am, and this is who I want to be, and I'm just gonna do that, and I don't care what anyone says. And then when you do it, instead of you thinking like you're gonna get made fun of, you find out that there's like thousands of other people that do the same thing. So I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot more people started feeling comfortable in their own skin, and that's why you see like more black girls doing cosplay than you would have seen in the past.
Yeah, and also more girls than that getting into that BDSM now, especially on the
Yeah,
submissive side. You
yeah, I've
know,
definitely seen that rise up.
yeah, because I be talking to girls about that a whole lot because, of course, when it comes to black women, they don't be viewed as submissive, period, and you don't see a lot of them. Well, in past the image it was awkward to hear a black girl say, "I want to be choked out, slapped around, and treated like a slut."
Because I feel like the world that a lot of people come from, they always feel like there's people trying to step on them anyway and tell them what to do and how to do it, and they don't got no say so. So even if that's what they like to do, they don't want to necessarily be like, I'm gonna let a man do that and treat me that way, because they feel like they almost have to like stand up for the entire gender, regardless of if that's how you actually want to be treated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of it to a certain extent. I kind of hate that it's kind of like a concept you had, like even with like Meg Thee Stallion. Whenever something happens awkward to or bad, or especially when it comes to anything to do with a dude, it's they're attacking a black woman. No, they're not attacking black women. They're attacking you. You get where I'm coming from? So it's kind of like, why do they have to feel that I am representing a whole race instead of just representing you? You know what I'm saying?
Because it gets people on your side. Mm-hmm. So if you know that you're saying something and you can't necessarily win a fight on your own, you're going to make it a gender issue. You're going to make it a race issue. You're going to do stuff like that, because then you get other people upset, whether or not you actually getting them upset for the right reasons. And then you got allies on your side that have your back.
Yeah, it's that comfort food. I always say it's that comfort food, period. Because everybody wants someone to pat them on the back and say, you're right. And that's kind of a mess up thought process, because the same people that pat you on the back, they're going to laugh at you or look at you sideways when it's convenient. So people are just crazy to me. But in so many ways, that's why I don't like them. But so now, of course, I heard, the bullshit about this article, what have you. But did you see? One thing I heard is that there were people that necessarily was, well, keep it 100, because damn it, fuck it. I heard there were IG models that was at the spot or what have you. And why do you think IG models and such content creators are now start to frequent these events now?
I think because like fan base wise, they realize like a lot of IG models are their content is like highly sexualized. And even if you're not doing anything that's nude or something like that, it's like they post the same pictures that a lot of like porn stars would post, but they're not going to get in trouble for it because they're not in the direct industry where you can go on and find a video of them doing something or even find them naked. Because a lot of them, they don't have an OnlyFans site where they're naked on the site. They got an OnlyFans site where they're showing you risque pictures, but they're still fully clothed. So they can come to this audience and basically be who they want to be, and they're not going to get judged, and people will treat them like normal people. Like when I'll give you like a perfect example. So early October, I was in New York and I went to the Sex Expo. So the Sex Expo was like an educational thing, and everybody's like going there looking at, chatterbait girls, and they're looking at them like, oh wow, they're, on cam. In New York, you can also get topless, so they're seeing that whole thing go on. But they're not really in that world, so when they see that, their mind is kind of blown. But if you're doing the same thing at Exotica, people are looking at you, but they're not as like blown away and surprised, because it's like, it's Exotica. Like everybody else at Exotica is there in that same world. So nobody's going to look at you and be like, oh, I'm so not really used to this, because it's like, no, everybody's used to that. That's Exotica. Like that's what goes on. You see somebody walking around with their ass out. You see someone walking around with their tits barely being covered. You're not looking at it like, wow, what did I just walk into? Because it's like, you know what you walked into. Even if it's your first time, the moment you walk through the door, less than an hour later, you're going to be comfortable because you've been seeing it the whole time. Regular people walking around like that. And I think they feel comfortable in that world. So they're realizing like, oh, I can come there and I can also get money. I can go sponsor with a booth, get some money. And sometimes pricing wise, I've seen a lot of them charge ridiculously high prices. Like they'll charge more money than like an established, well-known porn star will charge. But to them, that's probably what somebody else is telling them they should charge. So they're doing it, and in most cases, they're getting paid that money.
So, I'm gonna ask you this: does this present competition to the porn stars to a certain extent at these conventions?
I think it does, because I know last year in Miami, there were so many Miami girls, and when I saw their like social medias to like find their page to tag them, I would see girls with like 300,000 followers, 700,000, 1 million, and it's like you got regular girls just walking around, and some of them is just feeling the vibe. They're not taking nobody's money for a photo. It's like, oh, you want a photo? I'll do all the craziest poses in the world. So when you're doing that and you're the IG model and you have nothing going on in the porn world, you're not asking for a dime from anybody. It's like the same thing you're charging for. Other people are just coming in there doing it for free. So it does kind of hurt it in a way, because it's like you're trying to do everything and you're spending money to get a booth. You're spending money to travel. And then there's all these local people that's just coming around getting that same attention that you should be getting, but they're not doing anything for it. It's just like, oh, here's this hot woman and she has on this revealing outfit. I want to take a picture with her. Oh shit, I already follow her on IG and she has 1 million followers. Wow, I can't believe I just met her in person and I took like 7 pictures with her and didn't pay nothing. So I do think it creates competition, because it's like, it doesn't devalue what you do, but it definitely means that you got to work harder to compete with people who don't even want to do what you do.
Because basically we're saying that the IG models are charging more. And
yeah. Well, you know, the ones that have like that's at like somebody's booth, they'll charge $25, $30. Like they'll charge way more. You can go to Bad Dragon, and really the highest you're ever going to see at Bad Dragon is $20. No one's going to be like 25. No one's going to be like 30. No one's going to be like 50.
So shoot, so basically, I'm gonna ask you this then: do you think that now that IG models and just regular content creators that just only fangirls, they don't necessarily do the business like we do it, but you know what I'm saying? Do you think now, because they're now frequenting these conventions, do you think the dynamic of the convention is going to eventually change?
I feel like there's a good chance that maybe Exotica sees what's going on and they try to like actively incorporate some of these IG models, because I remember going to Exotica when camming wasn't such a big thing. You didn't see MFC and Chatterbait and Cam4. You didn't see all these sites there. Now it's a huge thing. They had to incorporate it at a certain point because they were going to be left out. So with all of the IG models coming, it might get to a point where it's like, you know what, we got to kind of include them in the mix, or they're just going to be walking around just taking everybody's business, and we're not even going to be able to advertise it because we didn't know they were showing up. Like, we can't promote them. We can't be like, come see this person, come spend money and buy a ticket, because we didn't even know they were going to be here. So we got to at least
also going to kind of change the fan base a little bit too.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But it's probably broaden it even more. But here's the thing: with Exotica, of course, they're gonna show nudity, but it's kind of like I'm just curious how it's going to change things moving forward, because even to the point you got AVNs coming up, so I'm curious to see how many IG models that's in Vegas, in Cali, will show up to the AVNs.
I've met a lot actually at AVN. I've met some people that are strictly IG models, and they were walking around AVN like the last one that they had, and there was a bunch of them there.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but did they have booths?
No, none of them had a booth. They were just walking around.
See, that's what I mean. It's a different element when they get a booth.
Yeah, I think they'll do that.
Yeah, because when you're walking around, it's one thing because you meet the fans, what have you. But when you have a booth, now you're directly in competition, financially, as well as attention. Versus with attention, I mean, you're on the floor, them fans' head is on swivel anyway. But Booth is told to restore because now you are holding their attention and they're literally like coming to see you. They now have a place to come see you versus I'm bumping into you on a walk.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if they get a booth, the only problem that's going to present for them is they're coming from a pricing strategy of like if they were appearing at like say a Comic Con. Comic Con, you're not getting no celebrity charging $10 at Comic Con. So they're coming from that land where they're charging $30, they're charging $40, and I don't think that really works I don't really think that works in the land of like Exotica because you're talking so many people there that if you do that with one booth, you might walk away from one booth and you don't already spent like 150. So how are you really even going to support the event and have like the time you want if you go to one booth and you spend 150? Or previously you could have went to Bad Dragon and probably spent 150 and got like 12 people instead of just 3 people or 4 people.
Yeah. So, but like I said, that's the other part of it. Kind of like even with the porn shit, when you had girls that were straight up escorts walking into the porn business, they wanted to bring escort mentality per se of business to the porn business, which is a more corporate type setting. You know what I'm from? Period.
Well, the thing about that, just to like add on, is that I feel like a lot of people know a lot of these unspoken things that happen at certain events, but since the company you're around is all like people you at least familiar with, nobody's saying anything they shouldn't be saying. Everybody's being quiet because it's kind of like mind your business. Like, don't say nothing you don't need to be talking about. Don't speculate on something you don't know what's going on. So I feel like, there's a corporate side and there's definitely you doing something on the side and
because of course, caveat, we keep it real on my damn podcast because we don't pull no punches this motherfucker. Yeah, I heard about the high drinks at this Exotica.
What'd you hear?
I heard there was some escorting going on within the building. I heard about some shrooms and fentanyl. As well as outside the convention itself, people shooting with people that's untested, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And the reason why I was asking those line of questions is that the ultimate thing is this IG models, this element was, put it this way, this element was not in the conventions. Because this ain't just Exotica. I heard about XBiz. You get what I'm coming from? XBiz. I said, wait a second. Y'all had issues at the XBiz? Ain't that just supposed to be in the street?
Yeah. I mean, like I wasn't at XBiz, but I mean, I didn't really hear, like, I mean, I guess I could ask some of the people I know that went, but with the Exotica stuff, it's like, I heard about like you said, the whole fentanyl thing and shrooms and all that. Like, I heard about some stuff that happened at a party, but the thing is, like, that's actually the one party I didn't go to because that was, I believe, the Saturday party. So it's like I got back to my hotel on Saturday. I like ordered food on the way back to the hotel. I put my stuff up, went downstairs to grab my food, and I saw that the line was so long to get into the after party. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this because they doing a whole, you got to come out for us to let people in the after party. And for all I know, you might have been sitting outside for like a good hour and a half, 2 hours just trying to get in. And then when you look inside the after party, you see there's so many people in there. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I've been on the show floor at that point for 9 hours. I'm not trying to be at the after party. So I didn't know all that stuff happened until I saw people posting about it later. And then I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. But see, that wasn't an element that was there a year ago. Let's make that clear. A year ago. And then even a year ago, like, first time I ever heard that work stoppage happened at an Exotica. You feel where I'm coming from? Yeah. It's like, did the gates get open too wide? Because and the reason why I say that, because you had, 'cause I heard shit. The Exotic in Miami had some chicanery, But the point being is that to me is the Exoticas and all these conventions allowing the IG models, the quote unquote OnlyFans content creators to be able to even walk into the building. Is it a good thing for our business? Because and I ain't talking about on the money side, because I get why, but look at all the hijinks that went down versus previous years of these conventions. Those issues was not there until the doors was open. You feel what I'm coming from?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say in previous conventions, there were things going on, but it wasn't happening because of like outsiders. It was happening from people that were already there, like industry people. So there was definitely a lot of people doing a lot of things, but everybody that was doing it was people that were like inside the industry. It wasn't somebody else coming from outside and spiking somebody's, whatever. Like I heard it was like gummies. You didn't have that because I was going to the after party and you would see like some girl in the corner being all fucked up, but she was fucked up off some shit that she took, that she brought, not off somebody else coming in the building and giving her something and then her suddenly take it. Like that wasn't happening.
Yeah. Period. Even to the aggressiveness of the fans. I didn't hear too much about the aggressiveness of the fans in years past. It's kind of like when you allow a certain element to come in on the professional side, there's a fan side that comes with it. You get what I'm saying? Period. If it's kind of like if you do a rock concert, there's fans that are going to come see the rock concert.
Yeah.
And they may not be the fans you want. You feel what I'm coming from? Period. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like I got friends that say to me, they should run Exotica in New York City instead of like Edison. Yeah. And I'm like, that'd be a terrible idea because you talking about now instead of you having to go all the way out to Edison in the middle of Jersey, now you're making it 10 times more accessible in New York City, trying to put it at like the Javits Center. And now you're bringing in this whole audience of people that don't need to go to a convention because they don't know how to act. And they wouldn't go to Exotica in Jersey because it's too much of a hassle for them to get there. And now you're making it easy for them to go. You're making it a subway ride. And you don't want that because if they're too lazy to go to Exotica and Edison and they live in New York, then that means that there's a reason you want to keep people like that away because they're not going to put in the effort, but they will put in the effort to be like, yeah, let me grab 10 of my peoples and hop on this train and go to the city and go to Exotica and think we should be able to do all this stuff because there's porn stars and there's cam girls and we don't have to show respect because we watch them online.
And they thought that there was tricking going on then. Shit.
Yeah.
The hotel is right across the street. Right across the street. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, and by the way, I think that's in Manhattan where you talking about what they were talking about doing in New York.
Yeah, they was talking about. I was like, I don't know.
So they can't be prosecuted. I don't even want to say nothing. That's a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah, I was like, trust me, you want it to be in Edison as opposed to New York City, like for so many reasons.
Yeah, shit. I'll give you one reason. The stick-up boys will be down there quick.
Yeah.
Because they know, because once again, I'm going to say it again, they can't be Johns can't be prosecuted. So they know that now the girls really can make money. So imagine that. Edison versus you in the country. There's a lot for you got to do to get the fuck away in Edison. Ain't a lot you got to do to get the fuck away in New York. You can just, like you said, hit the subway. You good. He's gone. Peace. Deuces.
Yeah, it's like you got to know where you at, like, because the thing about a lot of these Exoticas is they're very strategic in where they throw them because there's Exotica Chicago, but it's not in Chicago. It's in Rosemont.
Yeah.
And that's like an hour away from Chicago. So it's a huge difference.
And the one in DC is in Virginia.
Yeah. I was like, that's not in DC. Like, trust me, there's a strategy to the way they do things. Like, you want the hardcore people to come out to the event, and you don't want the people who really shouldn't be coming out to these events to show up because you do know that can create a situation. So you want to make it as not as hard, but you want to make it be where you can't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to Exotica.
Yeah, they put it in places where they know it's not popping. Meaning that it's not a lot to do around, because even when I think about New Jersey, in Edison, there ain't much to do in Edison.
No, not at all.
Actually, if you want to be honest, so you kind of got nothing to concentrate, but is on the convention, the after parties and the shooting. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, and plus the way that the roads are. I'm glad I didn't drive. I'm glad I didn't drive.
Edison is such a not happening place in terms of like entertainment that I'm like, why do you think that's the most popular Exotica? Because there's nothing to do there. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's why they picked that spot for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, even the Miami one is the only one that's in Miami.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's actually in Miami, period. But other than that, yeah, all them ones is they're on the outskirts.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it's a smart decision because you want to keep certain people from showing up.
Yeah, because it's to the point, like when I first heard that Miss B Nasty was at Miami, I said, this is the same female that didn't say that she would never fuck with the porn business. That's kind of fucking with the porn business, going to Exotica in Miami.
Yeah.
And then guess what? She just won an award for Urban X. So it's kind of like, and I tell everybody, I said, the porn business is actually validating her to the fullest. To the point that you might as well say she's a porn star now.
Because it's attention for them. It's attention for the industry to have certain people associated with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Would it, well, I already know the answer. That wouldn't have happened 10 years ago.
No.
She wouldn't even got the attention that she wouldn't even got half the attention that she got now. Unless she went and shot with a major company.
Yeah.
So, but it just funny how time changed, bro. Shit. Now I said, porn, it's scary. It's just me. Business-wise, it's scary what porn gonna look like. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be a good scare or a bad scare. You feel what I'm saying? Because, I mean, they ain't talking about the VR shit neither, people. I'm not talking about metaverse and all that crap. No, I'm just talking about just the way that porn is gonna look, the way it's gonna move, or what have you. Because we're losing a lot from what made porn great in the first place and what made it so much money. To me.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but to me, period. It was like, just like I was looking at Adult Time, and they actually had a fucking movie up that bitch. All black cast. I said, hold up.
Yeah, they do a lot of like actual film type stuff there.
The fuck, I'm not seeing these trailers. What I mean. It's like, I'm gonna say this again. When we stopped filming for DVDs, game changed. The game changed. It ain't been the same since.
Yeah, but a lot of people are very independent now, so they're in the industry, but they don't need the industry in terms of like, they don't need to mess with big companies and studios, because as long as you got a mind and you got some sort of talent, you can film. Because I've filmed a lot of people's stuff and I've seen a lot of people just do straight scenes, but then I've seen a lot of people incorporate a little bit more into it, and they worry about a lot more. They worry about the details, and the details will get you a lot further because people start to notice that. They started to notice your professionalism. And when somebody can just come in off the street, like, I know a lot of people that's not doing porn that are interested in coming to AVN, and they don't do porn. They don't have no OnlyFans. They don't do anything, but they want to come to AVN. So never know that any convention you go to is a gateway for you to be deeper in it than you were before you walk through that door.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I mean, shoot, that's what I mean by it wouldn't surprise me at some point. IG model of the year for AVN.
Yeah, I
No
wouldn't be surprised at
bullshit.
all.
Because think about it. People don't realize. Think about this. Urban X had a category, OnlyFans Girl of the Year. The only OnlyFans girl that I really saw that was nominated was actually Miss B Nasty. And I was like, I don't mean no harm, but I was like, she won that. I can't put Missy Stone over her on that. I was like, why y'all even got Missy Stone nominated with her?
Yeah, like because the thing is, like, a lot of the most popular people on OnlyFans, they're not sex workers. They just do modeling, and once they saw it was popping for sex workers, they started doing the same thing, and they start getting more recognition because you could do the exact same thing as a sex worker does, except for shooting like actual porn. But the fact that you're not taking, even if you are taking your clothes off, as long as there's no scene of you doing something by yourself or with somebody else, like places like Instagram will treat you completely different based on the fact that you're not actually doing like hardcore stuff. Even though you might be doing the exact same everything else. Because you're not doing hardcore, they treat you different.
Because I look at it like this, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But damn it, I don't mind being wrong on this one. You don't do what the people do that the convention you going to. So it's kind of like, what are you there? I mean, what are you there for? I know what they're there for, but it's a rhetorical question. Why are you there? What's the point? Because you don't, especially if you don't even stick a dildo in your pussy. I'm like, for what? Like, not even white girl like Nurse Becky. I saw her. She's gorgeous. I don't think she even do porn at all.
No, I don't believe so.
I don't know if she wear a camera. Well, I don't know what the fuck she do, but you know what I'm saying. But I mean, she's gorgeous. She's a great model.
Yeah, like
she kills it
yeah,
with
like
cosplay. Go ahead.
yeah, like I actually don't know what she does because I met her at Anime NYC. So I saw her at Exotica, like the month after that, but I didn't meet her from going to those events. But now she goes to them.
So I'm asking you this: how many of the porn stars go to the Comic Cons?
Not a ton. Like there actually used to be more girls that went when I probably like around like 2016, something like that. There were more girls that was like, yo, I was at Comic Con and they were showing me their outfits and stuff, and some of them I've run into. But honestly, like I'm not gonna say I say like a lot of them don't go to Comic Con, at least not the ones I go to. Like I have run into some like cam
But you've
girls
been to
at
San
Comic.
Diego though, ain't you? You've been to the San Diego
No,
one, right?
no, I never did the
Yeah.
San Diego one.
Oh, okay.
So every
Yeah,
once in a while,
because
but I don't think it's a huge amount that go.
no, I don't think so. But it's interesting. More and more Instagram models, as well as the cosplay girls, are going to the porn conventions, which I understand enables you to really be wild. And you might even have a few that might decide they want to dip their toe in the porn. But like I said again, it's kind of like it it's kind of like I don't know even the best way to even put it. it's it's kind of like a square peg in a circle. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It kind of makes no sense. Why would you? It's you ain't got the balls to do it full tilt. You might even look down on some of the girls that actually do it. But yet you want to
yeah.
go to the event that is known for that.
Because
To
they want the fame.
you know what I'm saying? And to actually get fans that want to see you be fucked. You get where I'm coming from? So it's
Yeah,
kind of
no, and
like
a lot of them will never do that. Like they'll never get on camera and do that. Like the most you might see from a lot of IG models is every once in a while it'll be like, oh, somebody has a sex tape that leaked. Which realistically, I don't think these things leak. I think they do it They usually shoot it probably very poorly. It's not shot professionally, and it just comes out. Somebody will put it out. It's not usually the person that's on IG. It's somebody else. It's short. It's not shot professionally, because then it really makes it seem like somebody had the video, they stole the video, and they posted it. When realistically, that's not even what happened. They made that video on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, because even to the point where all the sex tapes that came out, all that shit wasn't leaked. They dropped it. They just pretended that it was leaked.
Yeah, it wasn't leaked at all.
Yeah, but especially if it ended up on a porn company's DVD. Shit, motherfucker, they had to sign paperwork for that. They had to sign that paperwork for that. That's all gay, bro. That's why I said, but go ahead.
I'm saying, but people think that's what it is because they're like, oh, well, it's leaked. And I've seen a lot of like IG models, and suddenly they got like a sex tape online, and I'm like, yeah, but they put that on there themselves. Like somebody put that tape online to the point where it got to the public, and they didn't even necessarily make money off of that tape because it didn't go on like a DVD, but they got the fans. So now the fans want to go to their page, they want to go to their OnlyFans where they might get naked or do stuff, but they're not having sex on there. But it brought the attention. It got them free publicity.
And guess who they got that from? Ground zero to the beginning of the devaluation of the porn star, Kim Kardashian and Ray J. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And that's a sarcastic thank you, fucking bastards, because it made it that. You feel me? And OnlyFans exacerbated it. You know,
OnlyFans is interesting. I say OnlyFans is interesting because, you know, at one point they tried to shut down the whole porn being on their site. I'm like, porn stars made you what you are.
Yeah. And it's funny is that these IG models, everything that they're doing is what porn stars do for the most part. From poses to poses to the outfit to even the way they kind of move. And like I said, I just know some of the IG girls that go up in that motherfucker, they side-eyeing the porn stars like, bitch, you suck dick for a living. Bitch, you in the building that we in. Where did you pose to suck dick?
because you know what the difference between that is that one person is trying to shame the other person for something that they do in public or on camera for something that they do behind closed doors. Yeah. Except generally it's no money involved. Mm-hmm. So there's girls that'll freely admit, yeah, I do this, I do that. Like I met a stranger last night and, you know, I did this with her. And then there's girls that be like, oh, I would never. But it's like, yeah, but you totally do that. You just feel like there's something wrong with you doing it. So you try to shame anybody else who does it, even though they're not doing anything wrong and they're admitting to what they do. But you somehow feel ashamed because you do it and you think it's wrong, but you're still doing it. So don't try to shame somebody else that has the courage to do it and put it out there. And you're trying to shame them like they're wrong and they're messed up for doing that. But it's like, no, they're not messed up because they can actually go outside and say, this is what I do. They're not ashamed.
And then let me tell you what they're doing. They're coming to your place of work to post up. Yeah. Because technically, what the girls doing in there, they're working technically. They're working at the booths. They're working as far as networking, to set up shoots, to set up other business deals, to be seen, this, that, and the third. Because now, see, I take it to a deeper level. You got the bad dragons. You got all these motherfucking companies. They got product. Now, the porn stars only had to worry about competing with themselves to possibly be a sponsor, to be a spokesmodel. Now I got to compete with this bitch who's an IG model that got over 1 million followers. And this motherfucker don't even put a dildo on her pussy.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, there has to be a big part of you that enjoys what you do more than the money, because there's so many things that'll take money away from you, whether it's like people that are not really in your business, but they try to, steal that light you got, to things like IG wanting to like close your account even though you're not doing anything wrong. And you're definitely not doing what a lot of other models are doing. It's just that you do porn and they know you do porn, so they try to shut you down. So you got to compete with a lot of things where you can wake up and one day be like 10 steps behind where you were yesterday. So if you don't have a love for what you're doing and it's just for the money, I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing because there's so many things that can stop you from making what you were making just the day before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm waiting for the moment someone tell me IG models invaded the Why Not.
Well, the thing about Why Not that I've noticed is it's pretty much just, industry stuff. So I think it would be hard for that. Like I know like there were some people that came to Why Not this year and they're in the industry, but they didn't know Why Not. They came there because like other people they know were part of Why Not. But the thing about it is they stayed for the whole event. They could have came one day, left the next day, but they actually came on Monday, were there Tuesday, were there Wednesday, and they left on Thursday, and they went to all the events. So even though they weren't planning on coming the week before that, they showed up and they stayed to be a part of like everything that happened.
Yeah, because even to the point when I think about the seminars that might happen at Exotica. Well, one, we already know some IG models damn sure go to seminars, but they're made for a perspective of someone doing porn versus somebody who's trying to be an influencer. You get where I'm coming from? Even though, granted, porn stars encompass being a model, influencer, and all that good shit, still it's how they influence. That's the key. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, like you probably. I mean, I haven't been to a lot of like Exotica panels lately or whatever or seminars, but I can say from going to a lot of the Why Not ones, I think if you're just an influencer and you don't do any sort of like adult content, or at least not adult content where it's like sex on camera, I think you probably benefit more from going to like a Why Not event because they do specifically talk about like influencers and that sort of audience as opposed to just something like sex related. Because a lot of people that come to Why Not, they don't do things on camera with other people. Like they don't do anything like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that would be more the audience for them.
It's more of a business convention.
Yeah.
It's not sexy enough.
It's not. And also, it's not like, oh, here's a bunch of girls you can meet, and it costs this to meet them, and they got a table and they got a booth. It's like, no, there's a lot of networking. There's a lot of people doing work. There's a lot of that. I mean, it's kind of come and go at your own pace.
It's kind of like going to that high school employment convention that you can have in your gym. There ain't nothing sexy about it. You just there talking to the army man. You talking to this college and that college. Well, you know the college thing you used to go to. Kind of like that. Period. Yeah. That's how I'm liking it too. For what people told me, I was like, okay, it's strictly about the business, the back end of it, not the front end. It ain't got shit to do with fans. It ain't. If you happen to shoot, it's because you just wanted to. It's not even. It's a business, very strongly business oriented convention.
Well, I definitely say that it's a lot. I definitely say it's a lot of fun there because it is pretty much an area where it happens at. It's like you can't like come to the hotel and walk into that particular area of the hotel if you're not like at that event. So you pretty much have that entire floor to yourself to do whatever. And if you wanted to, shoot something in the hallway and you wanted to just suddenly go topless, like there's nobody that's going to tell you anything because that floor is yours. That's for you to do that. That's not for somebody else to be like, nah, that's against the rules, because it's like, no, you rented out that whole area. So you got to kind of chill and relax when it comes to telling people they can't do certain things. So you'll definitely go to like parties and, you'll see fun at parties where girls will be like, oh, let me, take some tits out on the red carpet or whatever. But you can do that sort of thing because of where you are, because it's your space. I mean, like Exotica Jersey, one thing about Jersey from New York is that you can't get topless legally in Jersey. So when you go to Exotica, it's no nudity. I mean, it doesn't matter like how big you are up top, you got to have like at least like pasties on. Yeah. And if you were in New York, it would be a completely different convention because you can go topless in New York. And that's why at the sex convention, there was a lot of like cam models on camera topless because that's a thing in New York. Like, it's not a problem.
See, it's called knowing your laws.
Yeah, you definitely got to know where you at.
Yeah, most definitely. So, shoot, man, another great episode in the books, man. I want to say thank you for coming by, and we chopping it up about Dear Exotica. You know, I'm definitely glad to bring you back again, you know, period, and everything. So, with that being said, tell everybody where they can find your work at online, man.
Same old places. It's IG, it's Twitter, it's 718 Burke. That's BURKE. And I kind of like regularly post stuff. Like, I'm still posting stuff from Exotica. I might post some more Comic-Con stuff. I got Anime NYC coming up in about, I don't know what, 13 days. That's coming up. And then Exotica DC. And then, you know, we got that pretty short break. And then we hitting it hard at the new year with AVN and with XBiz X3. We doing all that beginning of January, mid-January. So it's a lot of stuff that's going to be posted. It's a lot of people. You know, there's always new people at shows. So I might post something. You might end up seeing somebody. You're like, oh, this person is really dope. I like to follow them. Like, you always discover something new just by checking out who was at the latest convention.
Definitely. So with that being said, people, you heard it. If you happen to go to the convention, you see this man, take a picture, tell him hi. You know what I'm saying, everything. And he definitely will be back because he is a smoke buddy. So with that being said, you know how we end this all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you didn't learn anything? Smoke this over. Say goodbye to the listeners, Mike.
Yeah, I'll see everybody out there later. It was great getting to speak with y'all. Till next time.
Deuces.
Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right.